YO1 Radio, Griffo in the morning, and I'm absolutely honoured to be joined by music royalty, Mr. Peter Hook. Hello.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Do I call you Peter or do I call you Hooky? Because all the build-up to this interview, it's what everybody calls you.
Yeah, well, mate, as long as it's not a swear word, I'm happy either way, don't worry. You can call me anything you like.
You've never stopped working. I mean, I was reading your biog before. Do you know what? In a good way, I got exhausted reading it because you have done so much, haven't you, throughout an amazing career, and you're still doing it now. It's just brilliant, mate.
I think the thing is that when we were together as New Order, I think we'd sort of got in a little rut with where things that we didn't do a lot. And it was great, actually, while my daughter was growing up, you know, to have all that time off. But it was sort of frustrating in the way that you'd look at what other groups were achieving and what other groups were doing of our calibre. So there was a little bit of a dissatisfaction with the way that we were working as a group. And that spread over into the music, and then it spread over into the biggest argument you've ever had in your life. And then we split up in 2007. Once I was outside the group, I sort of realised or thought maybe I could see the things that were wrong. And literally being free was fantastic because instead of saying no to everything, just said yes to everything, you know, and it's been wonderful, and I don't regret a minute of it, and I don't regret a minute of splitting the band either, because it was well overdue.
I suppose coming from the band, like you were saying, bit of a democracy going on, so you're making, you know, calls on stuff, and you know, I suppose there's a voting process that goes on whether you should do or not do, where being you get to choose what you do when you do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember Barney saying to me, "Oh, you do the opening of an envelope, you." And I thought, well, what's wrong with that? Because you never know what's in the envelope, do you?
It's true.
I have a very illustrious catalogue. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of what Joy Division achieved, very proud of what New Order achieved. So I can pick and choose now from all those tracks. When we were together, we basically had to ignore, you know, 9/10 of all the songs that we'd written.
Yeah.
Because we got stuck in a rut of playing the same stuff over and over again. But I'm celebrating the music on record. Now, Joy Division on record were a lot different to how they were live. And I would never want to pretend to be something I'm not. I'll leave that to the others. And the same with New Order. I'm not pretending to be New Order. I'm celebrating the music as it sounded and the memories that it evokes. And, you know, people will come to you and say, "Oh, thank you. I've grown up with your music. And it's so wonderful to hear it again." And I'm going, mate, it's the same for me.
Documented in the 24-Hour Party People movie, you know, the Coogan thing, that you guys were there. I think Mick Hucknall might have been there. Manchester Free Trade Hall. Is that where you got the passion for bass guitar? Because you went and bought one quite soon after, didn't you?
Now, I would love to say, from a technical point of view, yes. But when we went to see the Sex Pistols, their attitude was unbelievable. I'd been to see Led Zeppelin the week before.
Yeah.
So the contrast was marked. Led Zeppelin didn't make you feel like you could do it. You felt like you couldn't do it watching them. It was just so far out of your grasp, it wasn't funny. When you went to see the Sex Pistols, for some strange reason, you felt that you could do it. If you wanted to scream obscenities at an audience and play out a tune and sound awful, I thought, I could do that, you know. And as we walked out, I said to Barney, we should form a band. And he went, all right. He said, I've got a guitar that he didn't play, but he said, you get a bass. And I went, right, I'll go and get a bass. And when I went in the shop the next day after I'd borrowed 35 quid off my mum to buy a guitar, the guy said to me, you know, can I help you? And I went, yeah, I want a bass, I want a bass. And he went, oh, well, what kind of bass? And I went, oh, just a bass. And he went, okay. And he reached behind him and grabbed this guitar and gave it. He said, well, what about this one? And I went, no, mate, that's only got 4 strings. My mate's has got 6. And he said, that's because your mate's is a guitar. And this is a bass. And I went, oh, give us that then. And so that was how much I knew about bass guitar at that point. And yeah, I remember clutching. I mean, it was really weird because he said to me, do you want a case? And I went, well, how much is the guitar? He said, 30 quid. I said, how much is a case? He said, 5 quid. I've only got 35.
Yeah.
So I would have had to walk from Manchester Piccadilly in Maysles back to Little Alton if I'd have got the case. So I said, no, don't want a case. I've got to get the bus home. So he said to me, yeah, then you'll need something to put it in, which was very nice of him. And he gave me 2 black bin liners to put me bass guitar in, which was perfect for punk. So it was a good start. And I remember getting off the bus, the 68 in Little Alton, proud as punch of this guitar I'd bought and taking it in. And my dad opened the door and he looked at it and he went, what the are you going to do with that? So, yeah, it's a shame he's not around and I could have shown him, God bless him. But, you know, he didn't turn out bad, Dad.
You've got a very unique way of playing bass as well, haven't you? Because you play almost like a lead, don't you? That's kind of the signature, isn't it?
Yeah, that's another, as my mother said, you know, my mother always said to me, you need a gimmick, Peter. All you groups need a gimmick. So I suppose in a funny way, that was what was my gimmick. I don't remember why I did it. I mean, there was an actual oral thing, is that in Barney's amp was much louder than mine.
Yeah.
And when I was playing on the low strings, I couldn't hear it on my bass, couldn't hear anything. The speaker was terrible. So I only paid a tenner for it anyway, but it sounded dreadful. So, but I found that when I played on the high strings, you know, the D and the G, I could hear it.
Yeah.
So play high because I could hear it then, because otherwise I couldn't hear it. And Ian Curtis, God rest his soul, there's too many God rest his souls around here, isn't there?
There is.
He loved it. When I played high, he would always pick up on it and he would always grab it and go, okay, got to do that. You know, so he inspired me, if you like, to carry on. And it came from that.
How does it feel to treat me like you do? When you laid your hands upon me and told me who you are. Thought I was mistaken. I thought I'd heard your words. Tell me, how do I feel? Tell me now, how do I feel? Those who came before me lived through their vocations, from the past until completion. We'll turn away no more. I still find it so hard to say what I need to say, but I'm quite sure that you'll tell me just how I should feel today.
It was interesting. The fight with technology in New Order became almost like a scrap in the playground between me and Barney, because Barney was using all the technology so well. He was programming all the bass lines, he was programming all the high lines, and then playing the keyboards anyway. Everything became very full with technology. So it was a real struggle to get yourself heard. And then because of the way the culture had changed and the music, and I was deemed a bit of a dinosaur. Luckily, unlike the dinosaurs, I made a bit of a comeback and fought my way through, if you like, to do it. But yeah, you know, music tastes change. What I love is that with celebrating a certain era of New Order and Joy Division, people want to hear that sound. You know, and as I said to you before, I'm in very good company with them because I'm a great fan of that music as well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when those punks that walked out of that Sex Pistols gig, they didn't last long.
No.
You know, within a year and a year and a half, both Barney and I were actually acting and writing songs that belied our age.
Yes.
You know, when Martin Hannett met us, he couldn't believe how young we were compared to what he was hearing. And he heard something in us that we didn't understand. He heard great music that would last forever. And we were just punks that just wanted to rip your head off. It was quite a strange thing to learn from him how to appreciate what you were doing. It was our biggest lesson from him, you know. He really did help us realise what you did in the rehearsal room didn't have to be what you did in the studio.
Setting the drum kit up on the roof of the studio, that's a true story, is it?
Yes, that is, and it didn't work because the main thing with drums is ambience.
Of course.
And when you've got them out in the middle of nowhere, there's no ambience. No. So it didn't work at all. So that was one of Martin Hannick's failures. And oh my God, didn't we rub it in, mate? Because it didn't have many. But didn't we rub that one in? Yeah, we did.
One of the first songs I heard by Joy Division blew me away as a teenager, and that was Atmosphere. Such a good song, that, isn't it?
Do you know what? The only drawback of it is that I tend to hear it mostly at funerals.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting one. We were talking to Robbie Williams about it, funnily enough. How weird is that at some award show? And Robbie Williams was going, oh yeah, he said, my records, he said, the Angels, they always play it at weddings. And I was saying, mate, enjoy that. I said, because they always play ours at funerals. I said, I'll swap you anytime, you know. So, yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful song. It was written very quickly, actually, Atmosphere, for what it was. Ian's words and lyrics are absolutely beautiful, beautiful song.
In silence, don't walk away. In silence, see the danger, always danger. Endless talking, life rebuilding. Don't walk away.
Again, we're playing that on this tour. We play it right before Love Will Tear Us Apart.
Brilliant.
So because it's in the chronology of the LP.
Yeah.
So I mean, the contrast between the two is particularly incredible. You can't believe that it's the same band that have done both. God, the hardest moment ever was when we went to Tony Wilson's funeral.
Yeah.
And right at the end, they put Atmosphere on. And
wow.
That was a hell of a moment to go through. Yeah.
I was going to ask you about Tony. Obviously, growing up in the Northwest myself and being, a viewer of Granada Tonight and his music show of the evening and stuff. What was he like as a human being, Peter? Do you mind telling us?
Not at all. Do you know what's really weird is that I actually met his father before I met Tony.
Sure.
Because my mum always used to take me up on Regent Road on a Saturday morning, and she'd always buy her cigarettes for the week from this particular tobacconist that was on Regent Road in Salford. And my mum would say, hello, Mr. Wilson. And this guy, Mr. Wilson, would go, hello, Mrs. Hook, how are you? Is it the 100 senior service or whatever that she'd have for the week? So I got to know this guy quite well. He'd always, hello, Peter, how's school and how's this lot? And anyway, years later, when we'd signed to Factory Records, I was doing an interview with Tony and somebody started talking about his father. And said, your father's got quite a unique neckwear thing, hasn't he, to tell me? And he said, oh, yeah, he always wears really loud dicky bows. And I was going, dicky bows? He said, yeah, he was a tobacconist for years on Regent Road. And I go, oh, my God. So I actually knew his father before I met Tony, which
Crazy.
was absolutely uncanny.
Yeah.
So Tony was a great guy because he had such charisma and such belief in you that you didn't really need anything else. And he's the only record company executive that I've ever met that didn't think he could make your music better than it was, because they all get stuck in, well, this is what I think you should do, this is what we should do, this is what we should be doing, this is who we should be producing you with, and all this lot. Yeah. Tony just said, darling, you do it so well, just get on with it.
Yeah.
It was like that, and he was absolutely right. So to go through what we went with him, and to go through the Hacienda, of course, with what it did for us and for Manchester, might have cost a few quid on the way there. But, you know, as Rob Gretton used to say to me, you can't buy a legacy like the Haciendas.
No.
And I'd say, well, you've had a good job, mate. You've had a good go at it.
Yeah, totally.
God, he really tried to buy it, yeah. But yes, the thing is that, yeah, Tony was a great guy, wonderful to work with, and such a character. When he walked into a room, you knew he was there. You know, we didn't change the world with one band. We changed the world with two bands. And then we went on to change the world again with the Hacienda.
I feel so extraordinary. Something's got a hold on me. I get this feeling I'm in motion, a certain sense of liberty. I don't care 'cause I'm not there. I don't care if I'm here tomorrow. Again and again I've taken too much. All the things that cost you too much. I used to think that the day would never come. I'd see the light in the shade of the morning sun. My morning sun is a drug that brings me near to the child I lost, replaced by fear. I used to think that the day would never come, that my life would depend on the morning sun.
But yeah, you know, to start as we did in 1980, and then to finish as we did the first time in 1990 with the World Cup song.
That's the best World Cup song, isn't it? That is the best, isn't it?
God, it was a struggle.
Yeah.
It was a struggle to do because we were trying to find a song that translated into a rock song as well as a football song. So I suppose in a different way to say it's coming home. But yeah, it was great. It was great to meet Keith Allen, who went on to destroy my life completely. Thank you, Keith. Yeah, we've had some great moments.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When I did the New Order book, Substance, I realised that the 80s, from when we formed, when Ian died in May 1980, to doing the World Cup song in 1990, those 10 years. Oh my God, it's a wonder we survived.
Express yourself, create the space. You know you can win, don't give up the chase. Beat the man, take him on. You never give up, it's one-on-one. Express yourself, it's one-on-one. Express yourself, it's one-on-one. Express yourself, you can't be wrong. When something's good, it's never gone. Love's got the world in motion, and I know what we can do. Love's got the world in motion, and I can't believe it's true.
Well, you're going on tour, Peter, and we got to talk about this. You're off to, did you say South America next week?
Yeah, we go to Brazil, Mexico, Canada, and then America.
Incredible, but you are coming to York, which we're thrilled about.
Yes, yeah.
And you
I
did.
mean, I love York. I think it's a beautiful city, absolutely beautiful, and it's nice because, again, with New Order, we never really bothered with anywhere in England.
Yeah.
We were always too busy going to America, you know. And it's weird now. I've reached that point in my life where I really appreciate England as a place and the people in, and to be able to travel around playing as we do. Mostly smaller venues, so you do get much more of a feel, shall we say, for what you're doing and who you're doing it with. And yeah, it's good.
Tell it to your sister, and tell it to your brother, just how much you miss them. Why you don't even bother? Could
great, man. And I'm very grateful that people will come out and see us, share those moments with us. And I will literally be doing it as Bruce Forsyth did to his 90s. So God bless him.
You're obviously going to do Joy Division. You'll be doing New Order tracks and some Monaco tracks in there too, Peter?
We actually throw in Monaco. We've been playing it all summer at the festivals.
Amazing.
It's been going really well. We've got Rewind next week.
Amazing. Peter, I could talk all day, but I know you're a busy guy and the tour's imminent and stuff. But York Barbican, you can still get tickets at yorkbarbican.co.uk. Just before you go, Peter, we can't wait to see you at the Barbican. Prediction for your beloved Man United this season. What position do you believe will finish in the league?
Oh my God. I'm going to err on my son's side, and I'm going to say we're going to make a comeback and we're going to put City where they belong.
Yes!
At number 2.
Just like we did in the cup final.
Yes.
Peter, it's been an absolute honour and a pleasure. Thank you so much for spending time with us here
You're
on
welcome,
YO1
mate.
Radio.
Lovely to talk to you. You take care of yourself.
See you at the gig, yeah?
Bye.
All the best, mate. Take care, Peter.
Bye.
Bye-bye, mate.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Maybe I've forgotten